Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ringside Wrestling Entertainment. This is Joel Perez here for your Monday Night Raw review for the date of March 5th, 2018. We're talking everything that happened on this edition of Monday Night Raw, and I mean, this is a rant that I'm seemingly gonna have to go on each and every single year on some edition of Monday Night Raw or Smackdown leading up to Wrestlemania, because we're exactly that, going into Wrestlemania. We are on the road to WrestleMania. This should be your most exciting time of the year. I should be excited to watch Monday Night Raw, not waking up from a nap and wanting to go back into that nap because this show was so terrible. That should not be the case, but that's exactly what it was here tonight. Besides a few select things that WWE is clearly going to put their focus and their energy on, like the Ronda Rousey storyline with Stephanie McMahon and Triple H, like the Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns scenario that they have going on there. Besides a few select things, everything else rings true as monotonous, boring, directionless, and the same old crap. The same old crap that we've been getting all year, when this is the one time of the year that you're expected to believe that television is going to take that turn on the upward side instead of being the same boring thing that we've seen in the lazy months of WWE, in the down period that is December, that is early January. This is supposed to be the time where everything goes into that excitement mode. Everything is big, but there's none of that. Your tag team division on this show is absolutely depleted. It's Cesaro and Sheamus, and they're playing it up on television now as nobody else, because that's the case. There is nobody else that WWE has built up to go against them, and they're not doing themselves any favors, because tonight the chance that they had to make the revival at least somewhat legit with these 6 weeks that we have, 5 weeks that we have left before WrestleMania, maybe getting a win over the tag team champions, none of that. The team of the Club hasn't been seen in weeks on WWE television. Rhino and Heath Slater, a non-factor in anything on WWE programming. The fact that you have John Cena, who last week came out and stated that he's going to Smackdown and his road to WrestleMania is going to go through Smackdown. He's on Monday Night Raw here tonight, which makes no sense in and of itself. And then out of all people that can come and interrupt him and maybe make a statement against the franchise player, blah, 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 all the charisma, or should I say, all the lineage that Cena has behind him, right? And out of all people, you choose Goldust, who hasn't been on television in God knows how long. They have completely ruined whatever momentum they wanted to build with Goldust last year when he went on that heel turn and he was going towards that character that he had when we first seen him in the 90s, and we were like, alright, maybe this can be something interesting. Maybe he can have an Intercontinental Championship reign, play an interesting role in the mid-card. They completely abandoned that. They flip-flopped him from face to heel, and now that he hasn't been on television in months, well, if you count his 205 Live segments, I guess, you can count him as being on television, but we haven't seen him in any type of programming with main roster members, and now you want to put him against John Cena and make me believe that he has a chance at derailing John Cena on the road to WrestleMania. Who writes this garbage? Who writes this garbage? It's not only the fact that it's lackluster. It's not only the fact that it feels the same as each and every single portion of your year, but it's the fact that it's illogical. It is illogical. When you're going into WrestleMania, you should have a clear, set, concise plan for what you're going to do. Things are unpredictable, but it shouldn't get to a point where things are illogical. And that's where WWE has gotten. And this does not feel exciting. This does not feel like something that I should be investing my time into. In WrestleMania, it's the most important thing that you are invested in the matchups going into WrestleMania. I cannot say that I am invested in a single matchup yet going into WrestleMania. Now that can change between now and the pay-per-view, but right now it ain't looking pretty. You haven't started anything as far as Smackdown goes with the one feud that I do really want to sink my teeth in AJ Styles versus John Cena. You go to Smackdown again, you don't see any development besides the same thing that we've seen for months between Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan. You don't know where they're going with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and everything that's going on between those four guys. You look at Monday Night Raw, how can I even begin to invest myself in Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar? That matchup is going to be a complete travesty, and knowing that, having the foresight that some others don't have to see that, I just cannot invest myself in that feud. I'm semi-invested in what's going on with Ronda Rousey, Triple H, and Stephanie McMahon, but then again, I'm letting that mellow, I'm letting that process to see how everything turns out, and then I'll give my final opinion at the end. You look at a feud like Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, things took an exciting turn here tonight with Matt Hardy talking about the Hardy compound. I think we even saw some footage from TNA. We saw some footage from TNA that they had of the Lake of Reincarnation and all that good stuff. So that took an exciting turn here tonight. But as far as everything else that we've seen on the feud, it's a complete dud. It is a complete dud. Your tag team division, like I mentioned, non-existent. Your women's division, back and forth. Booking, it's either a 6-woman tag or some interesting development between Sasha Banks and Bayley. There's usually one decent thing to come out of the women's division and something that's making you knock your head against the wall. That's usually what it is. It's 50-50 every week, and that's not enough to get me interested in what's going on in your women's division. The John Cena storyline that they have, we all know it's going to lead to a matchup against The Undertaker. WWE's trying to swerve us. There are rumors coming out that it's Rey Mysterio who's going to fight John Cena. I don't believe that for a second. You have him in the Fastlane matchup, yet he's on Monday Night Raw, like I mentioned. So everything just seems to be a huge cluster on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. They got to get themselves organized. I still find myself utterly bored by everything going on this show. Braun Strowman has nothing to do going into WrestleMania. You hear reports of him being used as a plan B if something goes down with Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar in their main event. Ridiculous that that's the position that you have Braun Strowman in. Things need to start to be sorted out. We are 5 weeks away. We are no longer in the position where we're at the Royal Rumble. We are no longer in the position where we are before the Elimination Chamber. We're there on Monday Night Raw at least. We are at WrestleMania season. The SmackDown starting this next upcoming Tuesday, we no longer have that roadblock that is Fastlane in the middle of the goddamn road. That is the road to WrestleMania. That garbage pay-per-view, which is probably what it's going to be, is no longer going to be consuming all the build to WrestleMania. And SmackDown is going to have to start being on the official path as well. I don't see any signs of WWE changing the flow of their television. I don't see any signs of WWE making things exciting. And quite frankly, It is not good at all, bro. I should be happy with the way these shows are coming out. And Monday Night Raw is either hit or miss. If you cannot tell by the tone, this Monday Night Raw was a complete miss. Smackdown Live every week is one of the worst shows on television, quite frankly. Quite frankly, one of the worst shows on television, to the point where that's what I titled my Smackdown Live review. Why Smackdown Live is the worst show on television. And that's exactly what it is. Ridiculous. Absolutely downright ridiculous what we're seeing on the road to WrestleMania. So many things that made you facepalm during Monday Night Raw here tonight. So many things that made you turn your head away. And one of the prime reasons for that is the 3-hour format. It has me craving for next year, 2019, where WWE, their contract with NBC Universal is finally going to be up, and we're going to see some development between them and whatever partnership they choose to go with for a TV deal. I'm hearing news that it's going to be Fox Network, and Monday Night Raw is going to be on the primary Fox Network, and it's going to go back to 2 hours. That sounds splendid, bro, because this 3-hour format absolutely drags. It allows there to be filler matches like Goldust versus John Cena. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous, but that is all for your opening rant. I'm hoping that this WrestleMania build gets better, because right now it is a definitive thumbs down. The only thing that has you excited on the road to WrestleMania is if you follow the dirt sheets and you read all these sporadic news stories that are spread around that usually aren't true. But I'm not going to cling on to that hope. I actually have a brain, and I know when something is true for the most part or not true. But that is besides the point. That is your foundation for the Monday Night Raw review. You already know this show was not anything to ride home about. It was Monday Night Raw, hit or miss. Tonight, they struck out, they missed. Awful show here tonight. Very few things that there were to talk about that were actually good on this show. But besides that, before we do get into all of that in, of course, the illustrious detail that we go into here on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel, let's go into some illustrious detail on what you can find right here on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel as far as content goes. Of course, there is so much other content for you to go check out right here on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. Pay-per-view reviews, Raw and Smackdown reviews each and every single week. Behind the Mic was absent this week. I'm getting lazy with Behind the Mic. That is absolutely my fault. No excuses this week on Behind the Mic. I'm going to try to catch up with that. Probably going to try to be pushing out some news stories if I can on the side to make up for the absence of Behind the Mic. Absolutely my fault that Behind the Mic was not up this past weekend. But believe me, it will be returning this next weekend, and it's going to be bigger than ever. We're on the road to WrestleMania. Gotta keep on track with Behind the Mic, where we cover all the biggest news. If you did not watch this week because it wasn't there, Behind the Mic, I believe episode number 55, whatever number we're on at this point, was uploaded 2 weeks ago. Very relevant news on there, talking about the Richard Rodriguez situation with Roman Reigns. Will Roman Reigns be missing WrestleMania 34? That news is still relevant. It's still ongoing to this day, and we have yet to find out if the steroid scandal with Roman Reigns will pan out to be anything worth suspension that will keep Roman Reigns off of WrestleMania 34. Of course, make sure to go check out your Raw and Smackdown reviews for last week. We talked about everything that happened on those shows. Of course, going off that rant that I just gave you, nothing too amazing going into WrestleMania, but that is besides the point. Make sure to go check out those two videos. And, of course, make sure to go check out the pay-per-view reviews. Elimination Chamber was the most recent pay-per-view. This is actually going to be a more packed week for content on the channel because I barely remember this, but we're going into the Fastlane pay-per-view on Sunday. That, of course, means that on Thursday, there will be preview and predictions for the Fastlane pay-per-view. What does that mean? That means we're going to be talking everything concerning Fastlane. That means we're going to be talking about the build to Fastlane, the quality of Smackdown Live. You can already guess what that is going to be. It's going to be a huge rant in and of itself right there. The quality of Smackdown Live going into Fastlane. We're going to be talking all the matches, what those matches mean going into the future, clearly meaning WrestleMania implications, the winners of those matches, who I want to win, and who I think WWE is going to go with for the winner, because those are two separate things. WWE doesn't always go with the best of ways, in my opinion, but of course that is besides the point. We will be discussing all that on Thursday for your Fastlane preview and prediction, so make sure to expect that. And of course, if you want all that great content, your Monday Night Raw review that you're watching here tonight, if you enjoy it, make sure to smash that like button. Make sure to comment what you thought about Monday Night Raw here tonight, because of course your opinion is just as important as mine. Tell me, what did you think of Roman Reigns' promo against Paul Heyman? They didn't have Paul Heyman say anything back. Remember that? Remember that. Anyways, we'll go into that in much detail. Maybe we'll actually start the review by going over that segment. But, of course, you make sure to subscribe to the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel for all this great content. You'll get all this content in your subscription boxes, so make sure to click that subscribe button. Hit it with whatever you got. You got a spear, you like Roman Reigns, even though I heavily suggest against that. Make sure to spear that subscribe button. Maybe hit it with an F5. Maybe tango around with it for 30 seconds like Brock Lesnar did with Kane at that house show in Chicago. Oof! Look at those subs right there. Anyways, that is besides the point. We're going straight into the Monday Night Raw review. And Monday Night Raw started off hot, and it seems to do that every week. It starts off hot, but that flame fizzles down to ashes very, very quickly. And that is exactly what happened here tonight. We started off with Stephanie McMahon, Triple H, Ronda Rousey, and Kurt Angle. We're going to discuss everything that happened in that segment here tonight. And to say the least, things broke down into chaos. And we did get the announcement in this segment that it would be Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey versus Stephanie McMahon and Triple H, as was heavily rumored. So that takes care of your Triple H and Kurt Angle feud, which has been on the back burn in recent months. That also takes care of your Stephanie McMahon, Ronda Rousey thing that you have going there. It addresses what happened between Ronda Rousey, Stephanie McMahon, and Triple H at WrestleMania 31. Of course, The Rock was involved in that scenario, but that is besides the point. We're going to actually play what we've seen in this segment. Ronda Rousey gets her WrestleMania match here tonight on Monday Night Raw. Let's play the segment, and then of course I will give you my opinion on that.
You understand that you did sign a WWE contract, right? We gave you your dream opportunity, the one thing that you have wanted your entire life, to be a part of WrestleMania. We're giving you your debut match on the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania. It doesn't get any bigger than that.
You're right, and thank you. I really am so grateful. I can't say it enough ways.
Thank you.
Just speaking of that contract, it does say I get to choose my opponent for WrestleMania, right?
I'm absolutely dumbfounded. I don't know why she didn't pick Alicia Fox or Dana Brooke.
The active WWE roster, yes.
Of course, I'm kidding. If you think I'm serious, please stop watching this video.
The person I want to choose for my WrestleMania match.
Oh, wait. We're going to hear who Ronda is going to face at Wrestlemania. Kurt, I think we need like a big drum roll or something. This gets better and better. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. It's a drum roll. You.
Absolutely ridiculous. Ronda didn't even wait for the drum roll. Fantastic.
Is an executive of this company. Stephanie is
So Triple H came down.
the commissioner of Monday Night Raw. She is your boss. You weren't here tonight, Triple H. Yeah, well, surprise, I'm here. You're right. Stephanie is a WWE executive, and she has a contract that states that.
Thank you.
But she also has a second contract as a WWE superstar. I make the matches. You will be facing Ronda at WrestleMania. I know someone else with a second contract, and that's you, Triple H. And I told you after Survivor Series, if you ever attack me again, I'm coming for you. So Ronda, if it's okay with you, it's not going to be you and Stephanie. At WrestleMania, it's going to be Triple H and Stephanie McMahon versus Ronda Rousey and me.
I love it. So Stephanie tried to slap Kurt. Ronda catches the slap face to face
Hold on. Whoa.
with Stephanie.
Hey, now, calm down now. This doesn't need to go this way. Ease on the fingers there. We're just going to get out of here. It doesn't need to go down this way.
So then Triple H, as soon as he gets Stephanie out the ring, tries to attack Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle, of course, fired back. So they're brawling in the middle of the ring. Kurt catches Triple H into the ankle lock. Triple H, though, manages to escape. Sends Kurt into the bottom turnbuckle. Stephanie McMahon, in the meanwhile, attacks Ronda from behind. Not a good decision for Stephanie McMahon. She escapes out the ring, though. Triple H tries to pedigree Kurt Angle. Angle, though, catches him into the ankle lock. Triple H manages to escape after flopping around like a goddamn fish into Stephanie's hands. But Stephanie, after consoling Triple H at ringside, gets grabbed from the hair, pulled into the ring by Ronda. And Ronda picks Stephanie up. And she drops her in like a Samoan drop type move. Not the best execution. Didn't look the most genuine that it could. But I mean, you gotta believe that Ronda isn't the best in the ring yet. I mean, it'd be great to see that she turns out like this prodigy in the ring and turns out to be absolutely fantastic. But I don't believe that's going to be the case. There are only a few people who turn out like Kurt Angle, who Ronda Rousey is ironically teaming with. I guess that's how WWE wants to portray her. Like this person who's going to come in from another sport, with Kurt Angle coming in from the Olympics, of course, and transferring into WWE style beautifully. That's how they want to portray Ronda Rousey, of course, in a way. But I mean, realistically, this segment came across as great. I love the way that Kurt Angle came off across in this segment. Kurt Angle did not come across as a doofus. That's how he's been coming across on each and every single edition of Monday Night Raw as the general manager. It seems that when Kurt Angle's in a feud and when he's getting physical, he comes across as more legitimate. I think he cares more about what he's doing, and he's not going to mess up his lines by saying Stephanie McMahon or coming across as ridiculous. Kurt Angle, if you heard the promo, as I just played for you, came across as good. Very, very good. I like the way Kurt Angle came across in this segment the most. Stephanie McMahon, she's trying to play that Vince McMahon-like character, and Ronda Rousey's her Stone Cold. Clearly, they are neither. Ronda Rousey's no Stone Cold. Stephanie McMahon is no Vince McMahon. But as far as the segment goes, it came across as very well. I enjoyed the hell out of it. Probably the best part Monday Night Raw, as they were in Milwaukee, Wisconsin here tonight. But I mean, realistically, from there, we went downhill, bro. But as far as the announcement of the matchup goes, good stuff. I like it. It's going to be a entertaining matchup, to say the least, at WrestleMania. Won't require Ronda to do anything too crazy that will expose her in-ring ability just yet. Gives her a couple months more of hard work and training in that wrestling ring to really finesse whatever she has in there. But that is besides the point. We move on to Asuka versus Nia Jax, and I particularly enjoyed this matchup when it came to the final moments, because the final moments of this matchup made both Nia and Asuka look like $1,000,000, bro. It really did. I mean, the fact that we've seen this matchup, there are negatives here. The fact that we've seen this matchup, as my phone falls, perfect. But the fact that we've seen this matchup for like the past 3 weeks in a row, we saw it at the Elimination Chamber. We've seen this matchup like 1,000,000 times. It's ridiculous. WWE, they are supposed to have all these women on their roster, blah, 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 blah. This women's division's packed. Yet we're getting the same matchup over and over and over again. Asuka proved herself to be able to get past Nia at the Elimination Chamber. Why is this matchup happening again? There's no reason for that. Asuka proved herself. Yet WWE's women's division is supposed to be diverse. The purpose of this brand split is to get new, intriguing, fresh matchups. Why are we getting this matchup so many times in a row when Asuka's always come out the winner? It's never been a different result. So why are we getting this again? There's a negative right there in and of itself. Many would argue that we shouldn't have even gotten this matchup to begin with, especially for the clause that it came at the Elimination Chamber. But as far as the ending of this matchup goes, I enjoyed the hell out of it, because you had Asuka catch Nia Jax, who was beating the crap out of her. First of all, you had this great near fall where there was a Samoan drop. I said, holy crap, bro. The streak is over. WWE did it. Because you had Nia hit Asuka with the Samoan drop, and they were a very decent length away from the ropes, bro. But Asuka reached her leg very well towards that bottom rope. It was she got out of it, of course. But it was just absolutely crazy how they were that length. They were the perfect length from the ropes, where you could see it being that Asuka didn't get her foot on the ropes, and it's just a 1, 2, 3 that you can imagine that being the fall. And realistically, they've kind of protected that Samoan drop very well. So I was like, holy crap, WWE did it. Oh, it's going to be rage time. At least that's the mode I immediately went into. But Asuka did manage to get her foot on the bottom rope. But this led to Asuka getting Nia in a armbar. And Asuka just continued to be goddamn powerbombed into the mat by Nia. She got pushed into the she got buckle bombed, pretty much. She got pushed against the ropes. They did that slingshot thing where you go against the ropes and then it's the power bomb. And Asuka, actually that's what led to the end of the matchup. It was the slingshot from the rope. She bounced Asuka off the ropes in powerbomb position, and Asuka flipped her back into the armbar. It would go from armbar to triangle. based on the way that Nia was positioned, but Asuka never let go, and that makes Nia look good because she was in that submission hold for a while, in that triangle armbar submission hold for a while, and it looked good the way Asuka tweaks the arm, and it makes Nia look dominant, that she was able to withstand something that looked so painful and would have any other woman tapping out within seconds. She was able to withstand that for so long, and she was able to bring Asuka to such a close matchup. And it also makes Asuka look strong because that shows how much she wants to win. The fact that, she was getting pretty much demolished while in the submission holds, but she never lets go. Makes her look fantastic. She gets the tap out win over Nia Jax. Nia Jax is forced to tap out. WWE wanted to protect Nia. They could have easily had gone for Nia passing out in the middle of the ring to a triangle. They didn't decide to do that, and I like that. Makes Asuka look very, very good. The fact that she was able to tap out Nia Jax. I like the ending of the matchup a lot, but again, why are we seeing this matchup for so many times? And I want to be able to invest myself more in Nia Jax. I really do. But it's the fact that WWE has stopped and started and stopped and started so many times with her. You had, if you remember, in 2017, I believe it was a gauntlet match between the women. Nia had a dominating performance. Eliminated all the 5 other women, or how many other women it was, in that gauntlet match until the end where Sasha Banks was able to beat her. She looked great there. WWE never followed up on that. How many times has Nia put on a performance that makes you turn your head and say, that's why they have her in this position where they're protecting her and she's not getting beat? But they never really capitalized upon that. They never really took the right moment to say, alright, we're going to push her, we're going to give her the proper push. It's the Dolph Ziggler effect, where it looks like they're going there, but they're not really going there. And that's why WWE is going for that at WrestleMania with Alexa and Nia. That's not the matchup per se that I would go with at all. But realistically, if WWE wants to complete that push of Nia Jax, who's to blame them? I just find it to be too little, too late, and that's not a matchup that intrigues anybody. It does not look like those two women are going to blend. The only reason I see them blending in the ring together is because of the fact that they are best friends in real life, and there is probably going to be that chemistry there because of that. But as far as Alexa being this small little child-looking person pretty much, and Nia being this imposing figure, both of them playing heel characters, how at all are they going to blend in the ring? I don't see it. I do not see it at all. How is anything that Alexa does to Nia going to be believable? Is it going to be a 3-minute squash for the title? I have no idea, but it does not sound intriguing to me as far as match quality goes at all. WWE, I don't know what the hell they're doing. These commentators are confused. That's another thing here. They are confused, dumbfounded as to whether or not Asuka is going against Alexa at WrestleMania. 1 minute you'll have Cole saying, well, Alexa Bliss has a ticket punched at WrestleMania against Asuka, and then the next minute Corey Graves will be like, well, Asuka has to choose who she, or they'll make it generic. They'll be like, Asuka's going to WrestleMania for a championship. Which championship? The Raw Women's Championship? Can you clarify there? Are they going to have a segment where Asuka comes out and chooses? Or is that done for? I don't know, because then, on top of that, on WWE.com, or on WWE's Twitter page is where I saw it, you'll have them being like, who will Asuka choose? So, what are they doing? Did she choose? Did she not choose? Did you choose for her? Is she going for the Raw Women's Championship, the Smackdown Women's Championship, the NXT Women's Championship for all we know? Who has any idea? WWE, clarify. Clear your road. Make things concise, clear. This is what I was going about in my rant. Things like this are illogical. They make no sense. 1 minute you have this commentator saying, well, Asuka's going against Alexa Bliss. The next minute you'll have her saying, oh, she's going to fight for a championship of her choosing. I don't know. Which one is it? Can you clear that up for me? Absolutely ridiculous. Like the ending of the matchup. But besides that, nothing to really gawk at here. We go to the Revival versus the Bar. I was thinking, oh, they're going to give the Revival the win, and they're going to go into some type of triple threat tag team matchup at WrestleMania. They're going to have the Bar, the Club, Gallows and Anderson, and the Revival, right? None of that. Nope. The Revival takes a clean win. They look good. They got a near fall. There was a beautiful near fall where they hit Cesaro with the superplex off the top, and one of them either hit an elbow or a frog splash, whatever it was, I don't remember, but it was a great near fall. I thought that was actually going to secure the win. They went for the Shatter Machine. Didn't happen, however. Sheamus hit the bro kick on Wilder or Dawson. I did not keep note of that. And before you knew it, Cesaro hit a neutralizer. And I was like, oh, maybe he'll kick out because Cesaro never hits the neutralizer at this point. Who's expecting him to win with it if he never hits it? They always tease it, but he never hits it. Tonight, he hits it, and he wins with it. So, the Revival, not going to WrestleMania. What this matchup was is that, what the commentators were playing up at least, is that, well, the Revival wins here, they're going to have a good case to go to WrestleMania. And then by the end of the match, I guess they're not going to WrestleMania, they lost. So, that's it. Revival, no goddamn momentum on Monday Night Raw. They were the best tag team in the world at one point while they were running roughshod over NXT. What happened, bro? How did the main roster ruin you to such an extent? Absolutely ridiculous. My God. Anyways, we go to this John Cena segment here tonight on Monday Night Raw. And as soon as Goldust came out, nothing, absolutely squash, that happened in this segment mattered whatsoever. It's not even like John Cena said anything of relevance to begin with, but we'll talk about that in more detail. It was John Cena. He was interrupted by Goldust. Goldust of all people in his segment here tonight on Monday Night Raw. Here it is. Goldust wants to shatter John Cena's dreams of going to WrestleMania. So that is that. It happened here tonight on Monday Night Raw. Here is the segment.
Now, as the only free agent in WWE, I understand the right to compete on Raw and on Smackdown is a privilege, and I do not take it for granted. I see some of you scratching your head. Well, why are you here on Raw? Why don't you do this on Smackdown? It's not that easy. You see, this Sunday at Fastlane, there is a six-pack challenge for the WWE Championship. And with what I have to say tonight, there is no way Baron Corbin, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Dolph Ziggler, and above all else, AJ Styles will just sit by and allow me to say what I have to say uninterrupted.
Just to take a quick pause here. First of all, I'm surprised you remembered all those names. There's goddamn 5 other people in your matchup. That is ridiculous. But, I mean, his point to do this on Raw was, well, if I go to SmackDown, I'm going to get interrupted by somebody. You got interrupted anyways on Monday Night Raw by Goldust of all people. So, I mean, what does it matter? What does it matter? So that point is null and void.
Because this is it. This Sunday at Fastlane, a record that has stood for nearly 20 years in the WWE will be broken. And for the past few weeks, I have been smothered in criticism that I have just been handed every piece of success, that I do not earn opportunity, and the only reason I stand here is to hold people back. I was not given success. I was given a chance. And with that chance, I earned opportunity when I beat AJ Styles in the middle of this ring. 1, 2, 3. And amidst all the adversity and opinion, I have not, am not, and never will be a man to step in this ring and hold anyone back.
Alex Riley.
When I win on Sunday, the critics will come from everywhere, saying I've robbed AJ Styles of a WrestleMania moment. No, no, no. AJ, I am encouraging you to make a greater WrestleMania moment. Use your rematch clause right away. And on the grandest stage of them all, for the WWE Championship, it will be a triple threat match. Shinsuke Nakamura versus John Cena versus AJ Styles at WrestleMania.
And he points at the sign. My God.
There he is, ladies and
So
gentlemen.
Goldust comes out. Anyways, I just want to address that little thing that he said there. Teasing a triple threat matchup. That's just WWE trying to keep you off your feet. Trying to keep you maybe even interested in something like that being a possibility. That sounds interesting, but at the end of the day, it doesn't sound as interesting as AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura in a singles matchup. I'm tired, absolutely sick and tired of these multi-man, multi-women matches. That's probably what WrestleMania 34 is going to be full of. You already had a triple threat for the Intercontinental Championship announced here tonight. Probably going to be a six-man kerfuffle for the United States Championship. Keep it to those two titles, please. I beg you, bro. I'm absolutely sick and tired of all these multi-man matches, and that's probably what WrestleMania is going to be, because WWE wants to get everybody on the show. A rumor at one point was that there was going to be a fatal five-way for the Intercontinental Championship with Braun Strowman and Elias thrown in there. Why do you have to make your WWE Championship match a multi-man matchup when you have something clear, concise, definitive set out there? I don't understand why that would even be teased. That's clearly just WWE trying to keep you off your feet, trying to keep you excited, because exactly that. It is WrestleMania season. So they want to keep you on edge, saying, oh, maybe that can happen, or maybe this can happen. And since John Cena's in the equation, clearly it's a topic of conversation. So that's what WWE's trying to do there. But something that's not going to get you interested, something that's not going to get you excited is Goldust in your goddamn segment. My God, ridiculous.
Your leading man, John Cena.
Like I said, this is going to be interesting.
Now listen, all my dreams, they've never had that perfect ending story. It seems like they've all been just taken from me, just like that, just like that. All of my dreams, the dreams of pretty little rainbows have turned gray and very, very evil. That ends today. You want to go to WrestleMania and compete for the WWE title. That is your dream. Well, I'm taking control right now of this here silver screen as your new director. As your new director for this epic motion picture.
This is weird.
John Cena. And tonight, your dreams will certainly be shattered.
So he punches John Cena in the face. That leads to a matchup, and not a good one. This one, 5 minutes? Came back from a commercial break. We're already in the middle of the matchup. To say the least, John Cena hits an attitude adjustment. 1, 2, 3. It is over for Goldust. Who cares? Why the hell was he on Monday Night Raw? It is 2018. He's trying to take John Cena's spot at WrestleMania. Maybe I would buy that. Yeah, in 1998. But in 2018, get out of my goddamn television, bro. Goldust, you wanted to make him a legitimate threat for John Cena? Maybe if you would have put the effort into booking him on television over the past couple months, that could have been a thing. Here tonight, he was playing a heel. A couple weeks ago, he was playing a babyface for the Cruiserweights. A couple weeks before that, he was playing a heel against R-Truth in a goddamn meaningless storyline. How many times is this guy going to go from babyface to heel, from babyface to heel? Is this your replacement for Big Show now? My God, who gives a crap? Absolutely ridiculous. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to illogical booking. Ridiculous, no one cares, garbage. Kurt Angle was backstage on the phone with Elias, who walked in with the guitar. Elias suggested that Angle cancel a Symphony of Destruction match that they were promoting here tonight against Braun Strowman. Again, this is filler for Braun Strowman because, of course, he's plan B if Roman Reigns gets in any trouble with the steroid man. Elias heard there will be instruments placed around to use as weapons, and he believes music should bring us together, not tear us apart. Angle thinks about it for a second. He says he's not canceling the match. Angle says it's up to Elias what happens out there tonight. Angle also makes it a Falls Count Anywhere matchup because Elias ran away last week. He ain't going to be doing any of that this week. So there you go with that. We go to Bayley. She is in a matchup against Mandy Rose here tonight. I mean, Bayley versus Mandy Rose. I'm so excited. Now, Mandy Rose has gotten a little bit better in the ring. At least I recognize that. She's better than Eva Marie at what she does. She's definitely better than Eva Marie, and that's because she has the drive. You can tell she wants to do this. She actually cares about doing this for more than just using it as a platform to get farther in whatever project you want to go towards. Mandy Rose actually wants to give this a shot. And if you even want to try, if you even want to care somewhat about what you're doing in that wrestling ring, you're definitely going to be better than whatever Eva Marie was, and that's exactly what Mandy Rose is. She has a great look. She's okay to the bare minimum in the ring. She's getting better, but she was definitely not ready to be called up from NXT. Mandy Rose versus Bayley. Mandy Rose is still very green. Better than she was a couple weeks ago, but still very, very green in the ring. Bayley's asked about Sasha Banks before she can even get a word out. Absolution interrupts, leads to the match. Bayley wins after rolling up Mandy Rose. The bell rings, and Rose and DeVille start beating the crap out of Bayley. That brings out Sasha Banks for the save. Sasha wants to hug Bayley right after saving her. Bayley pushes her away, says, no, I don't want none of that. And that leaves Sasha Banks to say, well, what's going on here? So that's probably going to be an undercard match at WrestleMania. I'm hearing that they want to do some type of Mae Young Classic Battle Royal, like the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, or the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal. That sounds absolutely ridiculous. There's no reason for Sasha and Bayley to be in something ridiculous like that. They should have their own singles matchup at WrestleMania. That's what I want to see. That's the spot that they're worthy of being in, and hopefully that is the case. There's no reason that the championship matchup should be Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss. That sounds absolutely unappealing. But at least we're getting this as an undercard matchup, and hopefully a Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal does not ruin that, because WWE is actually building to this. They're actually building another feud in their women's division, as crazy as that sounds, besides the championship feud, and I'm very, very interested to see what they do with that. But we go to a Women's History Month package, whatever, and we see back from the break how Asuka defeated Nia Jax earlier. Now Jax is backstage with Alexa Bliss. She's icing her arm, and she tells Mickie James that she's got this. Bliss sits down beside her friend and says she knows how bad she feels, how disappointed in herself she is. Bliss says she's never seen Jax give up like this, and it must be so embarrassing. Bliss goes on taking subtle shots at Jax, saying she might not be on WrestleMania's card, but she probably will next year. Bliss talks about how Jax has been bullied her whole life because she was always the outcast. She was always bigger than everybody else. Even to this day, in the airport, she gets looked at as different. So Jax, she starts crying. Bliss tells Jax not to let this be her downfall because everyone else will lose respect for her. So in this little speech that she gave Nia Jax, clearly she was taking subtle shots indirectly, but then again, she's a heel, so directly at Nia Jax. So, I mean, we're probably going to see Nia Jax come back from this, and she's probably going to make Alexa Bliss her target, and that will lead to a women's championship matchup, of course, after Asuka announces that she wants Charlotte and not Little Miss Bliss. The announcers look at Ronda Rousey and the segment she had with Kurt Angle. We see what happened last week between Elias and Braun Strowman. We get a backstage video from Braun, who says he's not finished with Elias, and Elias will get these hands tonight, as well as these keys, these drums, and anything else he can get his hands on. Braun says tonight begins with the extinction of Elias. And that leads us to the Symphony of Destruction match. It is Elias versus Braun Strowman. Elias is on the stage with the piano. Elias is so goddamn talented and entertaining. One of the most entertaining aspects of the show is Elias. We see musical instruments set up around the arena. JoJo goes over all the rules for the matchup. Falls count anywhere. No disqualifications. Elias plays the piano and sings his latest song. He also plays the drums for a bit. He knocks his opponent as he takes the guitar and plays while walking to the ring, asking for fans to shut their mouths. Elias gets heat by dissing Milwaukee. Elias gets massive heat, amazing heat. And he sings about how there's nothing Braun can do to him. Braun calls for Elias calls for a proper introduction as he enters the ring. The lights go off and Elias is out of there, bro. He goes to the outside of the arena, gets into his car, tries to go forward with his car, but we pan to a camera shot of Braun Strowman lifting up Elias' car and not allowing it to run. So Elias runs back into the stage. By the time he gets back to the arena, he's knocked down by Braun Strowman. He gets absolutely demolished. They tease Elias getting power slammed through the announce table. He escapes that. He actually manages to smack a guitar over Braun Strowman inside the ring, but in the end it was all doom and gloom for Elias. They did the spot where the big ass guitar, he gets hit by the big ass bass guitar that Braun Strowman was using the other week. They did that again, and they went a little bit of a step further. Braun Strowman, there was a mini piano set up. He starts playing that. So funny, seeing a big ass Braun Strowman play the piano. Absolutely awfully, but that just adds to the fun. So at this point, Elias is under the mini piano. So Braun Strowman lifts the mini piano up, kicks one of its legs from under it, and lets it fall on Elias, I should say. And that pretty much leads to Braun Strowman lifting it up, throwing it to the side, and pinning Elias for the 1, 2, 3. So that was an entertaining little match for Braun Strowman and Elias. It keeps Braun Strowman hella goddamn over, and it keeps Elias with that massive heat. But at the end of the day, you gotta wonder, where are these guys going into WrestleMania? I don't see anything for them, and it comes across as absolutely ridiculous that Braun Strowman, the rumors for him is to be the plan B for, for Roman Reigns. Ridiculous. The understudy for Roman Reigns. What a greater diss than that? There can't be. Bray Wyatt versus Rhino. Bray Wyatt versus Rhino. Bray Wyatt hits the Sister Abigail, takes 50 minutes to go for it. Rhino still gets hit with the Sister Abigail. What can I say? 1, 2, 3. Nothing happened during the matchup, but it was after the matchup that things got interesting. Slater comes in to check on his partner, but Wyatt crawls on top of Rhino and stares at him, forcing Slater out of the ring. We go to the replays, and Bray Wyatt takes the mic and calls Matt Hardy to come out and show his face, calling him a coward. Wyatt says the final deletion and the Great War are far from over, so show your face. And so Matt Hardy appears on the big screen and says that he concurs. The Great War is far from over, but if Wyatt wants to clash again, it cannot be contained inside the WWE. It has to be within the Hardy compound. We see video of Hardy Vanguard 1 we see flying around. This is clearly footage from TNA and all the montages they had. We see the illustrious designs of the Hardy compound. We see the Lake of Reincarnation. Fantastic stuff. Hopefully they do in the coming weeks introduce Queen Rebecca and Senior Benjamin and King Maxwell. All that great stuff. There's so many depths. Hopefully we see the introduction of Wolfie, their newest child, right? To the broken universe, right? Or the Woken universe, the Woken War. So hopefully they do all that. Very exciting stuff from what we've seen this week. But again, it's all teasing. The most exciting part of this entire feud is the teases. We were excited to see in the first week, what the Woken Hardy gimmick would turn into. It turned into nothing. We're excited to see what this Hardy compound and this final deletion, WWE's version of a final deletion, is going to turn into. It's all hype right now. Hopefully they execute upon that. Do I think they will? Based on the way WWE has been going, I doubt it. But hopefully they do something good with that. We go to The Miz, and he once again cuts a great promo. Absolutely hilarious stuff, entertaining stuff with the Mizzies. He introduces a Mizzies for the person who could pat themselves on the back. Seth Rollins is one of the candidates because he went 65 minutes and he's patting himself on the back. Finn Balor for winning the Universal Championship, relinquishing it a day, but he gets to pat himself on the back. Kurt Angle, right? Being the best father of the year, he gets to pat himself on the back, right? So who wins the award? It's a tie for Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. Then you have Kurt Angle's award, right? Yeah, have him being a failure of a father to Jason Jordan, all this stuff, right? So he's taking disses at all his enemies on Monday Night Raw. But before you know it, Seth Rollins comes out, Finn Balor comes out. They start talking trash to The Miz, start telling him how they beat him. The Miz brings up some valid points talking about all this stuff about how you lost the Universal Championship on a day. You want to brag about how you're over Finn Balor? Well, I'm 55 days away from blah, blah, blah. So that leads to a 2-on-3 handicap match, right? And it's Bo Dallas, Curtis Axel, Miz versus Finn Balor and Seth Rollins. They get beaten, clearly. And after the matchup, Kurt Angle comes out and says, well, at WrestleMania, the matchup will be, you're not going to face Seth, you're not going to face Finn, but you're going to face both in a triple threat matchup. Good. Very, very good. We go to Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman cuts a fantastic promo on Monday Night Raw. Heyman comes out with the Universal Championship, starts talking about Roman Reigns in the WrestleMania 34 main event. Heyman gives Reigns props for defeating The Undertaker last year at WrestleMania, saying it was the biggest win of Reigns' career. Heyman says Reigns won't be beating Lesnar at this WrestleMania and won't be taking the title. Heyman says if Reigns doesn't like what he's saying, he can do something about it on next week's edition of Monday Night Raw because the Beast will be here. Heyman mentions Reigns' family members, Alpha and Sika, saying Reigns can seek a new title to challenge for after WrestleMania because this one belongs to Brock Lesnar. Heyman recalls how Reigns came out last week and called Lesnar a bitch. Heyman raises the title and says, this is Lesnar's bitch. She belongs to him. Heyman says Reigns is eyeballing Lesnar's bitch, but he can't have her. Heyman goes on about Reigns wanting to become champion because of his bloodline and says Reigns won't have to pry the title from Lesnar's cold dead hands. He will have to take it from Lesnar's hot competitive fingers. Heyman goes on about how the title means you are the best, the biggest dog in the yard. Heyman says it's not bad how you want the title, it's how bad the title wants you. Heyman goes on about the sacrifices you make being the champion and says his client will be here next week so Reigns can say whatever he wants to his face. Heyman says Reigns has learned by now that he doesn't want to shoot on the mic with Heyman or shoot in the ring with Lesnar. Absolute fantastic. After that, Roman Reigns comes out, starts talking the same thing that he said last week, and expects us all to believe. I'm waiting towards next week. Let me see you shoot against Heyman, bro. Let me see you when you have to go one-on-one. with Heyman on that microphone when Heyman gets to say something back. That's what I want to see. Realize Heyman said nothing back. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be your Raw review. That is going to be all for now. This has been Joel Perez of Ringside Wrestling Entertainment. Make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to subscribe, because for now, I am out of here. Thank you very, very much for watching this video. I will see you next time right here on Ringside Wrestling.